Hello everyone. Today I would like to give you a short talk on sequence. The speaker suggested they writing their name at the top in capital letter before doing anything else when they get the test. Next, be sure to read the direction carefully before answering the question, and make sure to mark the answer on the answer sheet, as suggested, letting her know if they didn't have the pencil. Finally, when they have finished the test, they should turn it and they go home. The speaker said welcome to the audience to the concert, and she introduced Mr. Su Kim will play the violin concerto. And next, the concert in the evening would be preceded by a brief talk by Professor Robert Simon on the history of violin, and he had lecture on violin all around the world. After that, they should go to the lobby to enjoy refreshment. Finally, there were their director, who would introduce Professor Simon. The woman suggested signing at the desk and taking the visitor pass when entering the building, and she advised didn't lose the pass because they would need to read it all the time when they were in the meeting. Next, they should wait for the escort to accompany them to their destination, and they must be escorted back to reception desk. After that, she said, they didn't forget to sign out and return their pass when leaving, and finally, thank for their cooperation. The woman got the customer attention, and she said the store would close in 15 minutes, so she suggested the customer taking all the purchase to the cashier then, and she suggested using the express checkout lane if they were buying 5 or fewer items and were paying with the cash. Next, she suggested having the receipt ready to show the guard when leaving the store. Finally, she suggested checking to make sure all the items were the right size and color before they paid, because they didn't accept the returns. First, the speaker introduced after the news was their weekend weather reports. Next, the reporter Tom Taylor would interview Susan Gibbard about her new book, How to Get Rich in Stock Market. Mr. Gibbard was a renowned expert on investing and finances and write weekly newspaper column You and Your Money. And that would be informative show. Finally, she interviewed Peter Cook with the news. First, the speaker said there could be a large turnout for tomorrow afternoon National Day Parade, and it would be preceded by speeches by the major and the chief of the police. Next, everyone was invited to enjoy barbecue and fireworks at City Park in the evening. After that, didn't forget to attend the morning soccer game at the National Stadium and the was free event. Finally, he suggested everyone arriving early if they want to be sure of getting a good seat. First, the speaker said a few changes had made to their conference schedule because of scheduling conflict. Professor Jamison would speak immediately after lunch instead of before. Next, the morning coffee would be served in the front door instead of the dining room, and the morning workshop would begin at 10 o'clock as a regional schedule, but the afternoon session wouldn't begin until 1:30. Finally, she introduced Mr. Cartier would give her opening talk. First, the president had left that day for a visit to Latin America, and he would head first to a meeting with a leader from Colombia, Brazil, and Mexico. Next, following the few days of rest at Mexican Beach Resort, he would go to the meeting with um, the head of state in Peru and Ecuador. Finally, he would tour the factory and meet with the union leader in both countries. First, the speaker said, "Congratulations on becoming the owner of the Break-Orific 2010 bread-making machine." First, the speaker said, "Congratulations on becoming an owner of the Break-Orific 2010 bread-making machine." Next, they were sure to enjoy the luxury of having the fresh bread every day in their home. After that, it was easy to use the new machine. Simply choose the recipe from the instruction book, then assemble and measure the ingredients for the machine, and then put them in the machine. Finally, when the bread bake, they wouldn't be able to wait for the first taste. First, the speaker said they could register for the classes by phone and avoid a long line at the registration office. Next, she suggested calling 332-2445, pressing 1 if they were a new student, pressing 2 if they were a returning student. Then enter their social security number and then the classes. After that, after they have selected all their classes, enter the credit card number and then hang up. Finally, they would receive the receipt by mail within 5 days.